Having adult children is exactly like going to a fancy party and clogging a toilet. Let me explain. Picture yourself at a fancy party, one where you know a lot of people. Everything's going great, you go to the bathroom and you clog the toilet. In this scenario, there's a line outside the door, so you're sweating a little bit. Not a plunger in sight. There are two things that are going to happen when you flush that toilet. One, by the grace of God, it will just flush down and everything will be fine, only you know what happened. The other option is it backs up, it overflows, it becomes a whole mess. You're definitely going to need to get other people involved at this point, and that feeling, just as you reach your hand out to flush that toilet and hope for the best, is exactly what it feels like to have adult children. Because you are completely out of control, you hope that you've set everything up for success, however, there is potential. It can become a mess. One of the things you may not know about me is from the ages of 13 to 19, I was a terrible human. So terrible that my school guidance counselor had completely given up on me. I started dabbling with drugs when I was 13, and by the time I was 16, I was using drugs every single day. At 17, I had a full-blown pill addiction, and I started going to a lot of raves. At 19, I had a near-death experience that totally snapped me out of my addiction and made me realize how much I actually wanted to live. December 4th, 1998, I left Boston, I moved to Florida, and I never touched a drug again in my life. But I hadn't yet sorted out the root of my addiction. And from the time that I was 20 until I was about 25, I really dug through my roots trying to heal myself. And I would say that was the beginning of where I learned how much I teach here. I would say the vast amount of things that happen in teen and young adult lives are symptoms of problems within the root systems of who they are and not actual problems. And so often we want to band-aid the solution. Let's just figure this out. Let me hop in there. Let me solve all these problems for you. I had so many people intercede in my life and tell me that they wanted to help solve my problems, but they had no idea what the problem was because I didn't know what the problems were. It took a lot of maturity, a lot of remaining clean, and a lot of digging through and working on the roots of who I was to be able to figure out where all of this came from. It also took me realizing that I was created for such a time as this for something only I can do, and that those distractions were just pulling me away from my purpose. But I had to learn that on my own. And our adult kids have to learn that on their own. Going back to the toilet analogy, there's no option of opting out of that situation. It is just purely hoping for the best. Hoping that you have set that toilet up for success. And if not, making sure that you're there to help clean up the mess. But at this point in life, it's not something we can do for them. It's something they have to learn to do for themselves. Recently, Rob Lowe was on one of the talk shows talking about his son and how his son has got 5 years sober. Rob himself having sobriety under his belt. But he said that he could have never done that for his son. His son had to figure out on his own. And his son's toilet overflowed. And Rob was there to help him. But only his son could have pressed the handle. This season is not easy, but worth it.